Hey everybody, you're here with Coach Akins of the Walker Valley Mustangs, myself, Andy Morris, and Jacob Mason for the big game tomorrow. Got moved back from Friday to Thursday. If you don't know that already, you must have been hiding under a rock somewhere. But the game is tomorrow, and our coverage is sponsored by Wholesale Supply Group, and we're thankful for their sponsorship, and they are open to the public. So real quick, we're going to dive in with Coach Akins here. First of all, last week, Coach, great effort against Cannon County, held them to 0 points. Offense, we saw a lot of weapons. Just give us a quick assessment on last week's action and just kind of what went down.
Yeah, I think after watching film, we did a lot of good things, and we did a lot of good things in our base offense. That was what I was most excited about. We really didn't have to open the playbook very much. It was very much just simple power and counters and quick game and screens, and really those things kind of led into a really good win. So proud of what our guys did. Last minute being able to do, change the opponent, find an opponent, and then prepare for an opponent within 27 hours. That is, there's definitely something special about what happened last week, and I owe a lot of credit to my coaching staff. They prepared us well in such a short period of time.
Like you said, last week, short notice. Here again, this week, short notice. Another kind of switch up, something new. 2020 is not surprising us.
2020 strikes again.
I mean, so talk to us about how you've prepared for that, with a less day work of, preparation and.
Yeah, like you said, man, we just got to be able to roll with the punches. Yeah. I think we've taught that in our program that, this year's not going to be just scheduled, scripted, really easy. Everything that we've done up until this point's been difficult. So we expect that to continue. I think our staff has done a great job of teaching our kids to be flexible. I think that's something that we harp on. We change the script, change our schedule constantly just to keep our kids able to transition for those things. So, I think this week moving the game up a day, I think if you're not ready by Wednesday, then you're not ready to play anyway. So it's a really good opportunity to just get into the game and then have Friday off to really have an extra rest day for next week, which is a region opponent. So we're excited about the move. We're excited about playing Bradley Central. We're excited about all the things with it. And I feel like we've done a great job preparing and using our time wisely throughout this.
Coach, before we dive too much into Bradley, just a quick recap. One obvious last week was the running game. Spencer Jackson, Heath Tanksley, Mark Rogers, and a handful of other running backs, to say so, had a great game, a lot of yardage, and it was a dominant running game. Kind of tell us how that went down and what you expect this week from the running back position.
Yeah, I was really excited to see us run the football. We've leaned on our offensive line all season. We knew coming in January with 5 returning starters. Now we've plugged and placed them differently, but we got 5 guys that have played a lot of football for us up front. So we knew we were going to lean on those guys. I think Kyler Paris, coming back off injury and being successful at tight end, he really came out and was very physical blocking. So it starts there for sure. I knew very early that we were going to dominate the line of scrimmage. I could tell just by watching offensive and defensive lines that we really could dominate that. But then you start rolling running backs in, and you can keep a fresh running back with Spencer starting the game, and then Tank coming in the second or third series, and then Mark Rogers coming in, and then our young guys starting to play. It was a really cool experience. And then again, it goes back to being able to run our base offense and having a lot of guys that know our base offense that we could roll bodies. So, having over 200 yards game one, and what I was most proud of in that run game, and this is not something that probably shows up on a stat line, but we calculate our run efficiency. So how many runs do you have that are over 4 yards? Because you can really get fooled by average rush. Yeah. When you look at run efficiency, we had 83% of our runs went over 4 yards. So that's a really big stat for us. And what we did last year is we calculated when we crossed this threshold, we won the game. So our goal is 60%, and we hit 83%, which is a great way to start the season.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I love that stat, Coach. Something we talked about Friday night is how impressive the O-line was. Getting up a lot of push off the ball. Speak about them. Speak about the leadership that they've had out there.
Yeah, like I said, we got 5 returning guys that played a lot of football, and that we're going to lean on all year. We're throwing a lot at them, probably more than we throw at most offensive lines. Typically, we try to keep our playbook really simple so we can be successful. With these guys having so much experience, with Trevor Vines and Skylar Mullins and Hunter Callahan, Zach Pritchett, Ethan West, Wilson Scarborough, Jackson McGowan, we got guys that have played a lot of football. So those guys, we rolled, probably 4 different groups of those guys and have our entire playbook open to us. So the fact that they bought in and learned that, and we challenged them. We challenged them to be a dominant force on our offense. So when they go, we go. That's just the way it's going to be. If you look at games we won last year, you look at Friday night, when we play well up front, when we have that kind of run efficiency, then we're probably going to have a successful night.
One interesting stat that I noticed, I talked to Jacob at the end of the last game before we were able to get you up in the booth to interview. I believe Heath Tanksley on about 5 or 6 carries had 76 yards rushing, and I believe like 65 of those yards were after first contact.
Yeah.
So what kind of dimension? We know what Spencer brings and the agility that he has. Do you try to change it up with Heath coming in as more of a power back?
Yeah, Spencer has the entire playbook in his hands. Heath, when Heath comes in, I think y'all know, and I think our opponent knows, we're coming in to run power.
Yeah.
We're trying to power run game with that guy. Another guy that we didn't mention was Jesse Shirk. Jesse Shirk had several yards rushing too. His first game at Walker Valley, and he's really bought into our offense and has learned a lot.
Him
very
and Mark
quickly.
Rogers both.
Same deal, just guys that are just downhill runners, man.
Again, I believe we saw 7 or 8 running backs last week, so we could talk about a lot of them. No doubt.
We could talk about it all night. I'm proud. I'm proud of Coach Paris for preparing all those guys. Not a lot of programs can roll that many and still be able to function as an offense. So, Coach Paris has done a great job with those guys.
Yeah, that was very impressive. So, with that being said, Tucker Pope didn't need to take a lot of downfield shots last week. The running game pretty much dominated. So, this week, you're playing a little bit tougher team in Bradley. Mm-hmm. What can we expect? Are we going to see him throwing downfield a little bit more, kind of without giving away game plan or anything, obviously? Could we expect to see Tucker open up as far as running the ball, too?
I think we've got to open our playbook up. I mean, you're not going to beat a Bradley Central type opponent, running your base offense. You're going to have to open the playbook up and get a little deeper into the nuances of what you do as an offense. So, we're definitely looking to target those guys. We're looking to target Brody, especially. Brody was the leading receiver last year. He's got explosive ability.
Absolutely.
You saw it a couple times the other night, on his catches. He has a different burst for sure, but we got young guys coming in, juniors out wide with Kay Charda and Aiden Gibson that I really think are going to be successful this year. Another one, we're getting back from injuries. Reed Gibson's coming back this week.
He was big last season.
Yeah, he's been shelved with an injury, and he looks different. He looks like he's moving around with a little more tempo. And then you add in the tight ends, being able to throw to Kyler and be able to throw to Miles Mann and then get Spencer out of the backfield. We have a lot of weapons on offense, and we're not going to be able to go into every game and just run power counter. We're going to have to open up the game, and we're going to have to stretch a defense, wide and vertically. So I think you'll start seeing that as we progress through the season.
And that's one of the things that the talk's kind of been. We saw a bunch of weapons from Coach Aiken's offense, and that was simply from a running game standpoint last week. Just like Coach said, there's a lot of other weapons, Brody Swafford, Aiden Gibson, Kay Charda, a lot of guys like that who we saw a little bit of. We saw Swafford in the special teams game and 1 touchdown reception last week. So there's really room for this offense to open up a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And we have things in our hip pocket that we can always adjust to. Friday night we got to run Plan A, and Plan A worked. So why go to Plan B when Plan A is working? And we'll do that every game. If Plan A is working, let's run Plan A and let's do our base offense and be physically dominant. Yeah, be physically dominant. But there's going to be things that we dive into where we have an opponent that stops Plan A. And then we got to be able to adjust to Plan B and C. And I think we have things in our holster that we can do that with.
Well, Coach, we talked about the defense on the radio last Friday, but just thinking back on it, one thing I kept on saying was the amount of experience that you have there. Anytime that you can hold a team to 0 points, that's impressive. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. They played lights out on Friday. Can you give us something, that stuck out to you Friday night?
Yeah, again, like you say, when you hold a team to 0, it's not just, especially when it's 39-0, when it's a run rule, when the clock's running, you're subbing people. It's not just the starters that did it. We have a whole list of kids that played defense the other night, and all of them contributed to a 0 on the board. So I was really happy, with very little experience and very little preparation. We were able
especially
to do
for
that.
a wing team.
Yeah, for a wing team, totally changing who we were playing, what kind of offense we were playing. I was really proud, and it speaks to that experience. It speaks to guys who have played a lot of football. Shane Langford anchoring the middle of the line, and then you have Eli Denton, who probably played one of the better games that I've ever seen from a linebacker position, especially as a sophomore. But he has a ton of experience. He played 11 games last year, started every one of them. So. And then getting Caleb Lowe back. Caleb is going to progress. He's going to improve all year long. But just seeing him out there really, made my heart feel great for that kid. And as you continue to go at, deeper and deeper on the defense, I thought Ryan Lay played awesome.
Yeah.
I texted Ryan Lay. I texted Coach Harvey. I think it was Monday. I said, man, how many plays did Ryan Lay get on? And he texted back. He said all of them. He got in on every play. Like, he may not have had a tackle on every play, but he is in on every play, which, man, I'm excited for Ryan. I think he has collegiate ability at that position, and I think the more we groom him, he's gonna progress so quickly because it's so new that you're gonna see big jumps from him throughout the entire year.
Ryan was very impressive Friday night. Something that we didn't really get to see a lot since we were playing the wing tee was the secondary. Who are going to be some guys that we're going to see Friday night that are going out there making plays?
Yeah, I think it starts with those guys that I already mentioned with Ryan Lay, but Spencer Jackson too. I think Spencer Jackson is one of our best defenders at the safety position, and then you add in those corners with Lane Miller, and then Reed Gibson coming back at our field corner. We got 4 guys that are really special, but then you start getting into our depth again. I'm really proud of our depth because we built, 22 guys on defense that can play. Wes Clark played every snap with the varsity guys the other night, started the game, and I was so happy for that kid to see success like he saw. So we got a lot of guys that are playing football that are playing fast, and that's what I'm so excited about with our defense. Is they're playing with more energy and more effort than I've ever seen a Walker Valley defense play with.
Absolutely. We saw last week just about every play. We kept commenting during the radio broadcast. Once again, there's 10, 11 Mustangs in on the tackle. It seemed like it. Just about every play, they knew where the ball was, and if it was a run play, the secondary was in, eating it up front with the D-line and the linebackers. Kind of talk about your coaching mentality as far as getting guys to buy into it. You hear coaches say, we want 11 guys at the ball. You genuinely have 11 guys at the ball every play just about. So kind of talk about what have you done and your coaching staff to kind of make sure that that's something that gets done as it's being done on the field right now.
I think the only thing that I did was I hired really good people over there. I think we bring some energy, from me during practice. But I owe a lot of credit to what Taylor Harvey and Brandon Ashby and Eric Swafford and Nate Mathis have done. They've gotten a group of really 40 to 50 players on defense to buy into their attitude, to buy into what they believe and to fly into the football and bringing a mentality that you just haven't seen. I wish I could take all the credit, but I really can't. I put a lot on our defense coordinator, Coach Harvey, to run the defense, so I don't have to worry about it. And man, they have done a great job building a defense, not only that's flying the football, but building a scheme that allows everyone to fly the football. Because in certain schemes, you can't do that. You've got to play a certain people deep. Our scheme allows 11 guys to get to the football, and what that does is it causes, like the other night, causes turnovers. Being able to turn the ball over twice and then get another 4th down stop. That's a huge goal of ours, is to create turnovers, and it was good to see that the other night.
Absolutely. Another big aspect of the game last week was special teams. Kickoff coverage, phenomenal. Brody Swafford, again, we saw glimpses last year at him being an elite return man. Took one, I believe it was 64 yards, punt return to the house. kind of talk about how crucial your special teams are going to be this year, and really from last year where they were pretty solid, where you go from there.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our special teams. I feel like we as a coaching staff work our special teams probably more than anybody in the state. Probably as much or any more than anybody in the state. We start every day with special teams. One of our goals this offseason, the only goal we didn't hit last year in our special teams goals was to return one for a touchdown. And the first kick of the year, we were able to do that, which is really exciting for Brody. 64-yard return. But really, and really, that 64-yard return is the longest in school history. So, doing something that's never been done here, literally, that's exciting. But I'm more excited than anything about our kickoff coverage. Our kickoff coverage, man, I've never seen anything like it. It's led by Luke Anziano. He flies down to the football. Dylan Jenkins flying. I love watching our guys cover kicks because they just go.
Almost like an old wedge buster mentality.
It is an old school wedge buster mentality,
Yeah.
and they just go down. And the fact that we haven't given up one is really a testament to those kids and how much they put effort-wise into that phase of the game. So we're really excited about our special teams. I think Kangel did a really good job. We've got to fix, obviously, our extra point snaps, but Kangel kicked the ball really well. He had a great punt.
The
Almost got
conditions
down.
didn't help that at all.
It didn't, but we work that every day, literally every day. So that's something that we're definitely focused on getting better. So
that's part one of our interview. We'll be right back with Coach Akins talking about the Bradley game tomorrow at Bradley Central. You're listening to Jacob Mason, Andy Morse with Coach Akins. We will be right back.
We're back here at Walker Valley High School with Coach Akins to preview the Bradley game. So, talking about Bradley, again, the game got moved back a day, got moved up a day. So, tell us about the decision-making on that, how that unfolded, what the conversations were like.
yeah, early in the week we started seeing the possibility of rain coming in with the hurricane that's coming through the Gulf. And man, we've played 2 weeks in a row now in the rain. So Coach Floyd contacted me pretty early Monday morning and just said, "Hey, how would you feel about that?" And I literally responded with, "Hey, Coach, man, it's 2020, man. Do what you need to do. Tell us when to be there, and we'll make it happen." So after there was more conversation, obviously, we wanted to make sure that was what's best. Waited till Tuesday morning just to see what happened with the weather and felt it was best to move that game then. So we're excited about it. We didn't really lose. I know we lost a day and it feels like we lost a day, but really we didn't lose any time. We're going to get the same practice scripts. We're going to get the same practice schedules. We're going to get the same number of reps. And like I said earlier, if you're not ready to play by Wednesday, a Thursday practice isn't going to get you ready to play. So, I think a Thursday game, as long as you have a couple days mentally to prepare for that, I don't think that's that big of a deal when it comes to preparation for an opponent. Now, they're a great opponent. So it does just mess your routine up. And I'm very routine, so it does mess that up a little of, knowing when certain things happen. But it will be nice to get to school on Friday and have an extra day of rest to prepare for Ray County the next week.
Absolutely. Ray County, a big region game, and we'll dive into that a little bit next interview. Going to tomorrow's game, Coach, the atmosphere, again, I'm assuming we're going to be at around half capacity over at Bradley. And just the rivalry game in itself, not a non-region game, but a big deal here within the community. Kind of talk about the attitude with the guys, the attitude with you and the coaching staff. Obviously, this is a game you're excited about.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Last year was my first year in this community, in this game. So it definitely, we went in with the mentality of, hey, it's just any other game. We're going to go in, we're going to do what we do. If it works, great. If it doesn't, great. That didn't work. And from a head coaching view of it, we had to reassess how we prepare for this game. And the reality of it is it's different.
There's a passion behind it.
There's a different mentality. There's a different energy. There's a different excitement. And the big thing is when you look across, you know who that guy is. I know him. I played Little League ball with him. We've been competing against each other for years. I know his name. All those things kind of add into the rivalry and the community of this. So, we've taken kind of a different angle on this year and saying, hey, you know these guys. You've competed against these guys for years. This is not something new to you. So let's go out there and let's compete like we know how to compete. Let's use that energy. And let's play as hard as we can for 4 quarters and then look up and see what happened. But it's definitely going to feel different. And I made a mistake last year of kind of pushing that to the back and saying, man, it's just another football game. Once we start the game, it's just another one. It's not. It means a lot to this community. It means a lot to our schools. And it's something that, at the end of it, we're going to go across, we're going to shake hands, and then we're going to go out to eat with the families, from the other school, the next week. So there's definitely a different energy, and I can feel it in our kids. And I think we've handled it a little better this year than we handled it last year.
Coach, as far as personnel, game plan, things of that sort, what are some goals that you have for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, the big goal that I want to see out of us is I want to let loose. I want our kids to play with the energy that they played with last week. To look across and say, I'm going to do everything that I have to make sure that our team's successful. I don't want to get to the end of this ball game and say, man, I wish I would have, because when I played, I did that a few times. I got to the end of a Baylor game that we lost by 3 and said, man, if I just would have made this play or if I just would have made that play, then maybe we would have won this game. And what I'm begging our kids, and I haven't had to beg much, which is exciting to see, in practice, but what I'm telling our kids is, man, leave it all out there. When you're done with this game, I should be carrying 59 guys off the field because they gave so much. Absolutely. They gave all their energy to it. That's what I want to see from our guys. Win, lose, I want to see that energy now. We're going over there thinking that we have the confidence, thinking we have the guys that we can compete with them. So I definitely want to see that. I want to see us go into the game and take the energy, take the atmosphere, take the excitement, and then channel it into what we do and to do what we do successfully. I think we got a group of guys that are really bought into what we're doing, like we spoke about earlier, that are bought into flying around, that are bought into doing what they're coached to do. And when things get hard, because it will get hard, at some point it's going to get very difficult. Bradley Central is a great opponent. Coach Floyd is a great coach. He's done exactly what I'm trying to do here. He's already done. So I see a lot of similarities in when he took over the program, when I took over the program. He's put great people around him. I feel like I've put great people around me, and we're trying to build that program the same way. So I have a lot of respect for him, but we're going over there to compete, and I'm excited to see our kids do that.
With that being said, a lot of emotion involved in this game. What do you do as a coach to keep the emotion in check, not only for yourself, but for the team?
Yeah, that's always been, the kicker. Like, how are you going to handle this? And I think something as a head coach that I have to do is I have to be even keel. I have to be the coach that's the calming voice through all the excitement. Say, hey, we've done this before. This is not new to us. We've been in these atmospheres. Last year, we got great experience against Bradley Central here. It was an unbelievable atmosphere. So let's take that, let's use that, and let's learn from that. And it's my job to be that calming voice the entire time and let that excitement build and build and build. And then when the foot hits the ball, to let loose and go play. And don't have any reservations or anything holding you back. Just go play as hard as you can. Do your job over and over and over, and then see what happens. And that's what we're excited to do. We're excited to go over there and cut out missed assignments and cut out penalties and cut out any of those things that cost you football games, and just play our game and see how it stacks up.
It's truly, I believe, a good measuring stick to see how far this program has come.
Yeah, it's definitely a measuring stick for us. It's definitely something from the very start of being here. Hey, you got to catch up to Bradley Central. That's who you're being compared to, and that's okay. We want to be compared to the best. If we want to build the program that we're saying we want to build, then we better learn to compete in games like this. And I think that our coaching staff, both sides of the ball, has prepared our guys to do that, to compete in these type games and to take the atmosphere. That's what kills the atmosphere, is preparation. And we've prepared our guys. They are prepared. So now they just need to go out and they need to execute that preparation.
Well, awesome, Coach. Well, hey, thank you for being here with us. We're excited for you. Good luck tomorrow night, and we're excited to call the game on the radio for you.
Yeah, we're excited about playing, man. We want to go out and represent Walker Valley and represent One Valley as best we can.
Awesome.
You guys can tune in to us on 99.1 The Fiesta, part of the WCLE family. Once again, Jacob Mason, head coach Drew Akins, Andy Morris here, and we look forward to seeing everybody and you guys hearing us on 99.1 FM for the game tomorrow against Bradley. Go Stangs.